Hello, welcome to today's Clarity Reset. Today we are going to talk about the unshiny objects. I am totally a shiny objects person. I'm not hating on shiny objects at all, so don't get me wrong here. But sometimes our shiny objects stop being shiny. Um, and that's what we're gonna get into. We're gonna get into what your toolkit is, the actual tools or subscriptions or systems that you're currently paying for or just using to run your business. Some of them earn their place and some of them just don't. And today we're gonna figure out which one's which and make some decisions about it. So, first, we're gonna have a grounding session, just a few minutes to get present with ourselves and kind of block out the rest of what's going on so that we can really hone in on this. So I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Make sure your feet are firmly on the floor and rest your arms and hands somewhere where they feel supported. Pay attention to your breath as it moves in and out. We'll take a few breaths together. So, deep breath in through your nose, hold it, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, hold it, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, hold it, and out through your mouth. Now, I want you to raise your shoulders up to your ears and then roll them around and really stretch out in between your shoulder blades. Really exaggerate this. And then let them drop. Move your neck around a little. If you feel any tension there, just do some like slow neck circles. And anywhere else that you feel tightness or whatever, if you need to wiggle around a little bit to loosen it up, just do that. Just get cozy in your body. Now, you have your feet firmly on the floor. I want you to imagine that there are roots that are extending out from the bottom of your feet, deep, deep, deep down through the floor, down into the earth. And not only do they go down into the earth, but they go wide. Imagine a giant tree and the root system of a tree. Imagine that that's what your feet have coming from the bottom of them. So not only are you held tightly to this earth and you feel grounded, you also feel steady and secure and balanced. Just imagine yourself fully carried and supported in every way. And now we'll take a few more breaths together. So, a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And now I invite you to return back to the room. Grab your journal. And for the first 2 minutes, I want you to brain dump. And that means whatever is in your head right now, write it down, put it on the page. Doesn't have to make any sense at all. It can be total nonsense, which is perfectly fine. You're never going to look at this again. I mean, you can, but you don't need to. The point is to not stop writing. You just keep writing a word until the next word comes. And then you write that word. And you keep doing that until the 2 minutes is up. And we have a little under a minute and a half left. So keep going. And if you don't know what to write, write the last word that you wrote and keep writing that same word over and over until the next one comes. We do this to move any fragmented thoughts and kind of the chaos that floats around in your mind, the overwhelm that stops you from moving forward, the stuck that you get. Brain dumping the nonsense out of the way oftentimes helps with that. And so that's why we do this before all of the clarity resets, because before we get into journal prompts, before we start getting into the real work, we just got to get all this messy stuff out of the way first. We got about 30 seconds left, so keep going. None of it has to make sense at all. Probably doesn't. It's probably better if it doesn't. Okay, finish whatever words you're writing and stop. The first thing that we're going to do today, I want you to write down every tool, subscription, app, system, whatever it is that you're currently paying for, or maybe you're not paying for it, but you're actively using it in your business. Write every one of them down. And if you have to like look it up or whatever you have to do to get this information right and to get a solid list, just do it and type it, or sorry, don't type, but write it in a list format so that you're able to go back to that list, review it, and do things to that list. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to work on this because I feel like this could be pretty time consuming effort for some of us. And when I say us, I definitely mean me. I have a lot of I have a lot of tools. A lot of shiny objects in my life. Just keep going, write all of them down. If you use it at all, or if you've purchased it and it's just sitting in the background, or it's a class that you purchased that you haven't gotten to yet, or you dabble in sometimes, all of it. I want all of it written down. Be honest. Write down all the shiny objects. And you're not judging them. Not yet. You're not judging them. You're just writing down what they are, all of them. This again could be any courses that you've purchased. This could be, um, an app that you use, a tool, something you subscribe to, a community that you pay for every month that maybe you're active in, maybe you're not, and you're still paying for it every month. It could be any of those things. You have 3 minutes left. Keep going. And you can also think in categories if it helps. Maybe, like communication category or content creation, scheduling, finance. I mean, it could be just your QuickBooks. I mean, obviously, this isn't something you're going to cut out, necessarily, but it is something that you're using for your business. So that would even count. Again, it could be a community that you're in, that you're working on a classroom. It could be storage that you pay for, design, like Canva or something. It could be automation, coaching, education. Any of those things count. Write them down. Got a couple minutes left. Okay, we got a little more than a minute left, so keep going. It could be something, I'll just throw some things out there: content creation, scheduling, um, calendars, finance, communities, storage, um, communication, any apps at all, any subscriptions you have, any systems that you're using, any tools or platforms that you're on, CRMs, all of it. Put all of it down. Just make the list. And it doesn't have to be a description of each. You know what they are. Just write them down. Classes. I know I'm saying repetitive things, but I'm just trying to get you to think of all the things. Start wrapping it up. And if you need a little more time, you can always pause the video and then play again. But by now, you probably have the bulk of it down, if not all of it. So we are going to move to the next part of this. So now what I want you to do is I want you to go back through your list and mark each one. Is it actively earning its place? Is it sitting there unused, or are you not sure? So those are three different ways that you can mark the same, you can mark each one of these. So, if you need to make a plus for the things you're actually using, a negative for the things you're not using, and a question mark for the things that you don't really know what to do with. Just do that. I'm going to give you a few minutes to mark those. So again, you can put a plus or a check next to each of the things that you definitely use. They're your regulars, they're your go-tos. Um, so do that, plus or a check. You put a negative or an X next to the things that you're not really using. It's just sitting there. Um, and then a question mark next to the ones that you don't know what what to do with. It's somewhere in between. All right. And for anything, we're going to take this a step further or kind of get into the second part of what this question is, which I just want you to look at anything that you've put an X or a minus next to or a question mark next to, the things that are either unused or you're not so sure about. I want you to look at each one of those things. And for each one, what would you need to know to decide whether or not like you want to keep it? Like, why are you still paying for it or holding on to it? Um, especially for the ones that are sitting unused. Why do you have it still? Can you just get rid of it? Think about that. And then for the ones you're not sure about, what would you need to know to be sure about it? What is it that makes you feel uncertain? And identify that thing for each one of those. I'm going to give you another couple of minutes to do that. So right now you are identifying the things that are not being used or you're kind of questioning and you are making some decisions about those right now. You have a little more than a minute left. So keep going. So again, anything that you're not using, you're not so sure about, you're making some choices about that right now. What is it? Why are you holding on to these? Should you keep holding on to these? Is it just habit? Be honest about each one of these. Be honest, not defensive. You don't have to defend why you have it. It's just you in a discussion with yourself. Just be real with yourself. Do you really need this shiny object? Is it even shiny anymore? Just be real about it. You have about 30 seconds left, so start wrapping it up. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next part of this. I know this has probably been uncomfortable because I've done this with my list and I'm like, oh, man, some of these things like I had the best hopes for and maybe I just need to cut them out. So anyway, the next thing we're going to work on. So now I want you to add up what you are spending monthly on the things that are not earning their place. What is that number? And what would you do with it if it was back in your pocket? So again, add up what you're spending monthly on the things that are not earning their place. And what is that number? And what would you do with it if it was back in your pocket? Another way you can look at this, maybe you've already paid for something. Maybe this isn't an ongoing thing, you've already paid for it. Add up that too. What did you pay for the dead weight? What did you pay for the thing you're not even actually using? Add up that too, because overall, this part of the exercise, I want to say, is not about guilt. This is about clarity. This is about carrying dead weight that has a real price tag on it. And naming it tends to make the decision a little bit easier to let the things go that you don't really need anymore. So, what is the cost of keeping the things that you are not using, and what does that money actually represent? And taking this a step further, the things that you have paid for already and you're not paying monthly, yeah, they're there. Yeah, you have them. But what's important about knowing what you've spent on those sorts of things that are just sitting there is that in the future, when you see another shiny object, you might stop and think, wait a minute, have spent a total of X amount of dollars on shiny objects. And that I'm not using, and I is this another one of those? And so it's really just about that awareness. This is going to help you make decisions later on. This is going to help you have some clarity around what you're using in your business and what works for you and how things work for you. This will help you, this little exercise. So, again, you want to add up what you're spending monthly on the things that are not earning their place. What is that number? And what would you do with that money if it was back in your pocket? We have another 2.5 minutes left. So, you got plenty of time to work on this. There's a song I keep thinking about right now, High Hopes. She's got high hopes. I'm not gonna sing any more of it, but you know the song. If you know the song, you know what I'm talking about, and I feel like there are so many, like, subscriptions and apps and programs and courses and, like, all the things, right? That, and even communities that I've collected that I had the highest hopes for, and I thought they were gonna solve all of my problems, and you know what? They didn't actually solve all of my problems, and that's not necessarily their fault. It might be my own fault for not using them. Um, but again, that's what we're working on here, so we're still working on adding up the cost of what you're spending monthly on the things that are not earning their place. Yeah, and start wrapping it up before we move to the last part of this, the commitment, the hard part. All right. And here it is. I want you to finish this sentence. The one thing I am committing to canceling, consolidating, or actually using this week is blank. And write the whole sentence down. Don't just write the answer, write the whole sentence down. There's some magical thing that happens when you actually write the whole thing. And that's why I use jazz hands because that's what magic is. So, the one thing I am committing to canceling, consolidating, or actually using this week is blank. And maybe it says one thing, but write them all down if you need to. Totally fine. Whatever work you just did, write it down. Like what are you committing to canceling, consolidating, or actually using this week? And I'll just give you a short minute to do that. Again, the one thing I am committing to canceling, consolidating, or actually using this week is blank. Write it like you mean it. While you're wrapping that up, I'll just say a lean toolkit is not a limitation. It's a choice. And it's a choice that can actually save you a lot of money and some stress. Because when we carry around these things that we aren't going to use, that we had the best intentions for that just it's just not fitting into our daily life. We just got to be real about, are we going to actually put that thing in our daily life? Are we going to use it or not? And if not, get rid of it and get it again later if you need it. But there's no reason to hold on to a tech stack or whatever, but a bunch of platforms if you're only using one or two, right? And if you are holding on to one that you know is a game changer, stop fooling around and use it. So either use it or cut it out for now. Anyway, that is our unshiny objects clarity reset. I hope that this was helpful for you. I do this little exercise, I don't know, maybe every couple of months or so. I'll take a real hard look at everything that I'm using and make sure that I'm really using it, and cut it out if I don't. So anyway, please share in comments how this went for you. I'd love to know how much money you're saving. And if you decided to cut something out or actually commit to doing something that's just been kind of hanging out in the background. So anyway, have the best day ever, and I'll see you at the next one.